One of my favorite books. It's called Tuesdays with Morrie. Have you ever read that? Have you read that,
But I've heard
Chaz?
of it.
Which one?
Tuesdays with Morrie.
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Great book, and I mean, the whole premise is that Morrie Schwartz, he's a professor up at Brandeis, and he was diagnosed with ALS, and his one of his old students was a big time sports writer with the Detroit Free Press, and they 60 Minutes or whatever ran a story on Morrie Schwartz. And the writer, his name escapes me. He's like, oh my gosh, that was my professor. And so he starts flying from Detroit to Boston every Tuesday and says, I want to write a book about you. And it was just amazing that, Morrie's still teaching. He's got ALS, so he's of sound mind. His body's just quitting on him.
Right.
But they talk about all these different things that when you experience love and marriage and success and money, all these different things, that as soon as you start seeing them through the lens of I'm dying, it has to be different, right? We're all dying, but right now we're all just, I need, I got to pay the bills, or, I hope that who I find for my kids are really happy, right? We kind of see them through the lens of as if we're going to live forever. Mm-hmm. But, with what Eric was doing, I mean, truly at that point, he was missioning, maybe, I don't know, through a different lens at that point. Did you see that at all?
I expected to see that.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be the normal response. My husband was not normal.
Sure.
I don't think even the day that he passed that he had any, I knew that he knew that he was mad at me when I asked the head and neck surgeon who said his tumor was inoperable. And I asked, how long does he have if he doesn't do anything? Mm-hmm. And she said 2 months. And he was really mad that I even asked that, because it was, just like he didn't want to put a limit on anything. But I don't think he believed he was going to die. We'd had a conversation the day before about when he wanted to do his next therapy. And he was like, oh, let's start in 2 weeks. I was like, why 2 weeks? I'm thinking the sooner the better.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, because that'll give me more time to get stronger. And, it was just this hope. He really believed that God had him more for him to do. And I think God did have more for him to do, just not while he was here on this earth. Mm-hmm. But just his testimony is what I mean by that.
Right.
But no, I don't think he thought about dying that much.
Yeah.
Even when he was in the hospital and the doctors would try to have very frank conversations with him about it. He was like,
Yeah.
do you know about Jesus? It was really.
I know where I'm going.
But the thing is, exactly. Eric was always like that.
Yeah.